We've been tracking some stronger thunderstorms moving across parts of Kentucky, producing gusty winds and some heavy rain on this first alert severe weather day. We will track them for you coming up.
This was a needle in the haystack.
Friends and family of a missing northern Kentucky couple continue to search for a second body a day after investigators found one in Clark County. It looks like the zombie apocalypse is in Harrison County.
And there are already people there.
Cynthia is welcoming home the brains behind The Walking Dead.
WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
More storms in the bluegrass. You're watching WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. We've already seen our fair share of wet weather this month. And with more heavy rain expected tonight, we are tracking chances of flash flooding. Our WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day continues tonight with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
And Kristen, we're still tracking those thunderstorms. They're just mainly south of Lexington at this point. You can see a lot of them going up into southern and eastern sections of Kentucky and all the way out into Virginia and West Virginia. So that's kind of the leading edge, showing us that a lot of the main rougher action is trying to get out of town. Let's check and see what we've got going on to our east. One of the stronger and longer areas that we find is a thunderstorm that is moving across southern sections of Magoffin into Knott and also into Breathitt County, and then it goes all the way back into Lee County and now crossing over into Owsley County. Folks into Hazard as well, likely getting impacted by this thunderstorm here very soon as it'll be cruising in from the north. Down to McKee we go with a little isolated storm that just popped up. Probably catch a little bit of lightning and thunder from this from time to time as it kind of grows and expands and works its way through Jackson County and then over into Rockcastle County. A few more are trying their best to go up in that area as well, and another stronger area right on top of Williamsburg along I-75. You see some heavy rain and of course the lightning associated with this thunderstorm dropping to the south and will eventually probably within the next 15 to 20 minutes drop out of Kentucky, but more rain to follow that one. Quick check of some areas highlighted for flash flooding tonight. You can see the best risk is across southern and eastern Kentucky. We'll track more rain chances coming up in just a few minutes.
You can track the latest forecast, radar, and weather headlines on WKYT.com and on the WKYT News app. Download it for free in the app or Google Play stores. The rain didn't stop people from searching for a second body in Clark County today. Yesterday, investigators discovered remains in an embankment not far from Interstate 64. The sheriff told us the body had been there for some time, and state police don't expect to have a positive ID on that body until next week. Family and friends of a missing northern Kentucky couple are confident it's one of their loved ones. WKYT's Garrett Weimer talked to search crews in our top story at 6.
Still so many questions for those who knew Bobby Jones and Crystal Warner, and that means family and friends were back out again today searching for their loved ones. It's been more than a month now since Jones and Warner were last seen, but the search for their bodies and for closure continues. Family members say they're still waiting to hear whether a body found in Clark County yesterday belongs to either one of them. Several groups of families and friends searched in Clark County today. Meanwhile, volunteers with WKYT, a nonprofit organization, brought out their human remains detection dogs to search, just like they've done for weeks now.
What we've done, because this was a needle in the haystack, we created a search plan based on our search knowledge and then information about the suspects' patterns, and it's turned out that search pattern is exactly, it's been really helpful because that's exactly where the body was found.
Crews ask anyone else out in the area to check their property and keep their eyes open. In Montgomery County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
The search crews say the rain actually helps dogs pick up the scent they're looking for. Investigators in Powell County say a young woman died in a crash overnight. The coroner says around 12:30 a.m. a truck driving on Snow Creek Road heading toward Clay City went off the road and down an embankment. The driver was able to get out of the truck. We're told a passenger, 20-year-old Jessica Vance, died at the scene. Friends of a Boyle County man are raising funds to help pay his medical expenses. 20-year-old Trevor Thompson is at Cardinal Hill Hospital. He's recovering from multiple injuries he got in a fiery crash last month. Thompson is the sole survivor of a crash that killed 3. Matt Darlin, Jacob Frick, and Brianna Kaufman all died. A passerby saved Thompson by pulling him out of the burning car. Friends are holding a car show this afternoon to raise funds to pay his medical bills.
At the hospital, when they've come and gone and everything, they've talked to Trevor and they've talked to us, to the parents and everything, and they said they wanted to do this for him. And we're just very thankful that, you know, his friends have come together and done something like this for him.
After the car show, friends and family will visit the crash site. Campaign season in the Commonwealth is officially underway. Hundreds are in Graves County this weekend for the annual Fancy Farm Picnic. The event attracts politicos from across the state. And one of the big races they're all talking about is the U.S. Senate race between Senator Rand Paul and Lexington Mayor Jim Gray. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is enjoying some pork and politics.
It is the 136th annual Fancy Farm event. The people come here for the pork that's been slow cooking yesterday, but today they can begin buying by the pound, and for the politics. The U.S. Senate race between incumbent Rand Paul and Lexington Mayor Jim Gray is considered the big item this year. But also on the speaking docket were surrogate speakers for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, giving a nod to the U.S. presidential race. Many arrived early to wait in line for the slow-cooked pork and mutton or to play some bingo. Then they sit back and enjoy the stump speaking. Some of them sit back, others get up and take part. In fact, it's an event where the audience plays as much a part of those speaking from the stage.
Now people are curious. They wonder, how could Mayor Gray have left this gaping hole downtown for nearly a decade? I heard the real reason that the big hole is still there, why he stopped work on the big hole, because he heard there was coal in it. And as mayor of Lexington, I've turned a deficit into a surplus. And what has Rand Paul done? He and his failed presidential campaign are still $300,000 in debt.
Now, some political pundits said that they actually thought that the Republicans had a slight edge over the Democrats this year because some of the Democratic heavyweights, such as Allison Lundergan Grimes and Andy Beshear, did not come to this year's event. But many people on both sides were extremely vocal in supporting their candidates. Fancy Farm, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Kentucky State Senator Dr. Ralph Alvarado is at the picnic speaking on behalf of Donald Trump. And former U.S. Senator Kay Hagan from North Carolina is speaking for Hillary Clinton. Phil Pendleton will have more Fancy Farm coverage tonight on WKYT News at 11. Back to life. Today, thousands of zombies were in Cynthiana for the first ever Walking Dead Day. The festival is a homecoming for 2 Harrison County men who created the popular comic and TV show The Walking Dead. WKYT's Mike Byer talked to creator Robert Kirkman.
The first ever Walking Dead Day took over the streets of downtown Cynthiana, bringing out tens of thousands of people. Among them were plenty of zombies, or as they're called in the TV show, walkers.
I have a Walking Dead obsession.
Take one glance at Kelly Wesley, and it's easy to see she's a big fan. Wesley, along with thousands of others, spent the first part of their day waiting in line to get their hands on one of these.
This is a special edition comic book that they gave out just for the Walking Dead Day of Cynthiana.
But getting the graphic novel was no easy task. Betty No, along with her husband and son, dressed up in their best Walker attire to give some a scare and others a laugh.
Something that we'll remember forever, and I would like to thank Robert Kirkman and Tony Moore for doing it.
Robert Kirkman, who created the series, and Tony Moore, the original artist, are both Cynthiana natives. The childhood friends got the day started with a signed dedication. Kirkman says the show's success and everything that's come from it, like this festival, is surreal.
I got to go downtown this morning because I showed up a little early and there were already people there, and I got to shake a lot of hands. And, you know, I didn't kiss a baby, but I did sign the back of a baby's onesie, which was pretty exciting. And it's just great to see the people and get to talk to everyone.
The cool thing about the Walking Dead Day is displays like this one are set up recreating events from the TV show. a show that has gained a gigantic following and has become a worldwide hit.
I love Carl.
I love scary shows, so this is perfect.
A Walking Dead fan or not, today's festival had something for everyone. It created smiles, excitement, and brought an entire community together for a day they'll never forget. In Cynthiana, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Included in the Walking Dead Day, a costume contest, a Q&A session with Kirkman, and a trivia event. Still to come on WKYT, volunteers are getting in the back-to-school spirit. They're sprucing up several Lexington schools.
We have been tracking rounds of showers and thunderstorms here on this first alert severe weather day. Our concern has been we could run into more flash flooding. It's certainly something we have seen quite a bit of here over the past several weeks. Period. This summer has been very wet. I mean, you just think back to that first day of this month, how much rain we picked up here in Lexington. A tremendous amount. It was the wettest August 1st on record for Lexington. So we already started the month off very, very wet. Most of the shower and thunderstorm activity has worked its way south of Lexington. We're into the southeastern Kentucky right now, into Breathitt and also into Perry County. You'll see that this is forming into a little miniature line that has gone up. So some gusty winds along it, probably 30, 40 miles per hour, and then it pushes all the way out into Owsley County. Here is where we can also find it beginning to develop into Jackson County as well. Notice they start popping, and now it's trying to get along that boundary that's in the atmosphere and trying to turn into a full-on line that'll be moving through the rest of Jackson County, and it'll drop on off toward the south and likely impact folks across parts of Clay County and also maybe into Laurel County if it back builds that far. Here's what we've got in Williamsburg. Some heavy rain passing through there right now. Most of the heaviest stuff is concentrated into the southwestern corner of the county. And then we move a little more toward the east, and you can find this one that has just really blown up with loads of. Look at all that lightning. That is incredible. Within the past few minutes, it really got ramped up. Here's what it looks like on our 3D radar. And the reason to show you this is because it shows some of the other thunderstorms off in the distance. And the taller they are, the more intense they are, the stronger the thunderstorm. And this one's certainly the strongest one anywhere that we're going to find in Kentucky. What we have is a frontal boundary that's pressing into the area, and it's ignited these showers and thunderstorms. You see it right there. A much larger system, of course, and all along it, we're firing those thunderstorms. They'll be sweeping through, and this front will keep us clear for the most part into your Sunday. However, as we watch our hour-by-hour run, let's get into your Sunday forecast. Tomorrow morning, muggy start. An isolated chance of a shower or thunderstorm into southern and eastern Kentucky. Very small. Most of us are dry as we head into your Sunday. The same thing ends up happening on Monday because that front's going to be just to our south, but it's going to be close enough to where it could trigger a few thunderstorms, especially into the afternoon and evening hours. Here we have your forecast, and you can see those chances of showers and thunderstorms that will continue throughout most of it except for tomorrow. They'll back off and they'll re-energize as we get into Monday and beyond, Kristen. So again, very wet period. How many times have I said that this summer?
A lot.
Every weekend. Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
Kentucky Utilities employees got out of the office and into the classroom today. Many helped with landscaping and cleaning at 3 Lexington schools. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain talked to volunteers participating in a day of caring.
Make things happen. It's the slogan here at William Wells Brown Elementary, and that's exactly what one company was doing here today to get ready for the first day of school. As part of Kentucky Utilities' 12th annual Day of Caring, some volunteers from the company are helping to spruce up schools for the first day of school on Wednesday. KU decided to focus on helping schools a couple of years ago for its Day of Caring. Today at William Wells Brown, volunteers are pulling weeds, picking up trash, and making the landscaping as presentable as possible for the first day of school.
We like to give a wonderful impression on the first day of school. It's the first day the kids are back and the very first day for our kindergartners. So we just want to make them feel warm and welcome and let them know this is a great place to be. Of course, staff are busy getting their classrooms ready, so it's helpful to have someone who will do some of this type of stuff for us.
We want the teachers doing what they're doing in the classroom and not spending time out here pulling weeds or making the place look nice. So that's why we're here.
Nearly 200 employees are out helping at 12 different schools across the state for this Day of Caring. In Lexington, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Volunteers also help clean up Mary Todd and Yates Elementary Schools. Students in Fayette County head back to the classroom Wednesday. For a list of school start dates throughout Central Kentucky, go to WKYT.com. Lee K. Howard's in next with sports, and it's back to school for the UK football team, too.
It is back to practice for the Wildcats. The team was on the practice field this morning, and earlier in the day, hundreds showed up for Fan Day to get an autograph from their favorite players. That's next in sports. UK's Fan Day event is the annual kickoff to the fall football practice. Today, fans got a look at the new crop of Wildcats as well as the new UK practice fields. Earlier this morning, hundreds of fans stood in line at the Nutter Indoor Practice Facility to get an autograph or two. One of the longest lines in the building was for the head coach, Mark Stoops himself. Stoops says that it was a good opportunity for the fans and the players.
Yeah, it was awesome. What a great day. It was great to see a lot of our alumni back. I had a chance to visit with a lot of them last night, and they're going to have lunch with our team today. It was awesome to have them and their families here. And the fans to come out and take part in Fan Day and sign some autographs. It was a great turnout.
A couple of SEC football pioneers also on hand signing autographs today. Wilbur Hackett and Nate Northington, who played at UK in the 60s, are two of the four men who will be immortalized by a statue that will stand outside of Commonwealth Stadium. Hackett was the first African-American team captain in the SEC. Northington broke the color barrier in the SEC.
They're back with all of our ex-alumni, so it's good to have them, and I thought it was appropriate because they're on the poster, and we're recognizing those guys, and it was good for our fans to be able to see them and spend some time with them.
And after signing autographs, it was on to the main event for the Cats, their second practice of the fall season. Stoops said that his team, and at times was a little bit sluggish, that blamed it on the humidity for that. The wide receivers made a couple of nice plays today. In general, though, Stoops said that he was pleased with the team's effort and attitude.
It's a good start, and that's all it is a start. We've got a lot of work to go, but I like where we're at physically, mentally, and we're in day 2. So we're halfway through day 2, and we've got to be consistent, and that's all we're talking to them about, is finishing every day, taking care of their business, and being on point at the meetings and handling their business. But I'm pleased with where we're at so far, and we'll continue to push forward.
And we continue our countdown to the UK football season. Just 28 days now. 28, the number worn by Tony Dixon, Choo Choo Lee, and Shorty Jamerson. 28, also the number of career touchdowns owned by Craig Yeast. That's a school record, by the way. And who can forget Myron Pryor's fumble recovery at the 28-yard line against Louisville in 2008. Pryor rumbling 72 yards for the score. You can see all the countdown day information over at WKYT.com. The high school football season kicks off in 2 weeks, and Chuck Smith has many new players to replace at Boyle County. They are the subject of tonight's 27 teams in 27 days. Graduation equals opportunity in Boyle County. The Rebels graduated 19 seniors off of last year's team, including their quarterback, running back, 2 top receivers, and top 5 leading tacklers.
So we got a lot of new faces. It's created an opportunity for new stars to be born and new players to step up and prove that they can lead and they can also play and be impact players.
We have a lot of new people because we lost some last year that were seniors, and they just have to get experience.
One of the main losses is quarterback Josiah Robbins, who last year led the Rebels, throwing 2,340 yards and 29 touchdowns, while rushing for 364 yards and 5 touchdowns.
It was good while he was here, but he's gone now. It's the start of a new era, I think. I really like the quarterbacks we have now.
Sam Tiller and Nick Walker could both be in line to take over the signal calling duties.
Adam, I'm excited about either one of them, and I wouldn't rule out the fact that we use 2 quarterbacks. They both are good football players.
One of the most talented returning players is receiver Evan Tarter. The senior hopes a lot of passes are thrown in his direction.
I hope quite a bit, because that means I get to do something, but hopefully quite a bit, yeah.
Despite many new faces this season, Chuck Smith is confident he can find the players that can produce.
At the end of the day, it's all about producing. If you don't produce, you're not going to stay in there. So we're going to give some guys some opportunities, see what they can do, and I feel confident they can provide the talent, the skill that we need to be able to win some football games.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $52 million, and Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $38 million. Looking at a lot of rain chances.
Yeah, more showers, thunderstorms out there tonight, and they'll work through southern and eastern Kentucky. That's where our flash flood threat will be highest for the next few hours. Tomorrow, most of us get a break, but don't worry, we'll get more rain in here on Monday, and it'll stay around all week long.
Just in case you were missing it.
Yeah, I know you are too, yeah.
Hope you'll join us right back here at 11 o'clock tonight.